Okay, this video is going to go along with Chapter 13, Section 2, where we're talking about finance charges, deferred payment. As with every section, I strongly encourage you to read all of the information very carefully. There is a lot in this section, a lot of different formulas to apply, and there's a lot of homework problems to go along with those explanations. So read through very carefully. Let's take a look at some of these and how they got the answers. We start off by calculating the amount financed, the finance charge, and the total deferred payment price for the following installment loans. Number one, they have a purchase price of $1,400. They did a down payment of $350. The amount financed then was $11,500. They just simply subtracted those two. Okay. Monthly payment they calculated for you already. Number of payments is 24 and the finance charge is $582. Well, how did they get that? Well, pretty straightforward math problem. If you have a number of payments of 68 and you have 24 payments, that is going to give you $632 for the amount paid. Well, you subtract that then from the amount you finance, and you get your finance charge. Okay? So in order to get your total deferred payment price, you would just simply add your finance charge, what it costs you for the loan, plus your purchase price of the items. You would just add that up. Okay? So pretty straightforward calculations on those. So let's do a couple. So they had number two, purchase price $3,700, 20% down. Well, 20% of $3,700 is $700. 2 times 35 is 70. That's where we got that. Kind of can do some of that a little bit in your head. Okay, so number of payments times the monthly payment. So let's find out how much they had to pay out. So we would have 257 times 12. Okay, and we're going to have to subtract. See, I wrote that down wrong. We got the finance charge, but we have finance is 2,800, so we subtract then the 2,800. So we have finance charge of 284. Okay, and we add that to our purchase price. $37.84. Okay, so the first section isn't too bad. Let's just do one more real quick. Number 4, down payment is 0 this time, so they're having to finance the entire amount. Okay, number of payments, amount of the payment. So we're just going to take 187.69 times 18. And we're going to subtract that then from the 29. So they have 478.42. Okay, and then we would add that on to the $2,900 because we didn't have any difference this time. So before we had a difference. Basically, we'd already had the answer back before with the 42 because we didn't have any difference this time. So that was a little bit unique in that problem. Okay, let's take a look at number 8. Slightly different here. And the first thing they have to calculate is the finance charge. So we have the amount financed, add on interest or the interest rate, number of payments. They already calculated the finance charge. We're going to figure out how they did that and then figuring out the monthly payment. So purchase price was $788. Put down 10%. So they had a difference then of $709.20. Okay, so we take that $709.20 times the 0.08 and that's how they got the $56.74. Okay. And then in order to get the monthly payment, we would add the finance charge to what we have to finance and divide by the number of payments. Well, that didn't work very well, so let's try that again. Okay, so let's try this here. Must have hit the wrong button. 0.2 plus 56.74 equals divided by 12. There we go. And they rounded up. Okay, let's do another one. 15%. So let's find out what our 15% down was. So we're going to times that by 0.85. We're going to subtract that percent. So we have financing 85% of the amount. So our amount financed is going to be $3,400. Okay, 11% interest. It would be 11.5%, and then as a decimal, then of course is a 0.115. So we're going to times that by 0.115. Okay, so our finance charge then is going to be $391. Okay, so we add that back on to our amount financed and divide by 30 payments. So that is 2.5 years. We have 126.37. Okay. Again, pretty straightforward. Just simply go through the steps that are in the book. Okay, our next section is going to use a APR table that the text has provided for you in order to get the annual percentage rate. So, how did they originally, though, get this information, the finance charge and the finance per 100? So, scoot this back up here a little bit so you can see the calculator on the bottom. Add the number of payments times the monthly payment. Okay. Subtract the amount financed. And I got the finance charge. Okay. So then you take the finance charge and you divide it by the number of hundreds. So we just simply move this over by hundreds, so we notice we have 23 hundreds. And that's how they got the 14. Okay? Then we're going to use the book, but I want to do a couple more of these getting ready to look them up because I want to do those all at once. So let's do 16 here. So number of payments, 36, times the monthly payment, $495. Okay, subtract okay, we had a finance charge of $3,820. Okay, so we're going to do how much per 100. So we're going to take the 14,000 and move that over to, it's divided by 100. So now we're going to divide this by 140. Okay, so we get 27.29. I'm going to round up. Okay. I want to do one more. This is one of your homework ones, but I want to do it because the amount financed is a decimal, so I wanted you per 100 as a decimal. I wanted to make sure you understood that part. So again, we have our monthly payment, 115.75 times 18 equals, okay, we're going to subtract the 1860. So we had 223.50. Okay. Then we're going to take that amount and we're going to divide by, move this over to 18.6. Okay, see why it's going to be 18.6? Because we have 1,860. You divide that by 100, you would have 18.6. or you're just going to move the decimal over 2. Okay, so you divide it by 18.6, and we get 12.02. All right. So this is finance per 100 charge. Okay. So I'm going to pause this for a second. I'm going to get the textbook up here. Okay. So the table 13.1 is going to read the number of payments down the side. Okay, and the percentage rate is going to be across the top. Okay. So then you're going to try to match the number that you came up for the finance charge per 100 in this row. So we had 24 payments on number 15. So we go down here to the 24 column, okay, and we're going to look for closest thing to 14.0. Well, our closest thing is going to be 14.1 right here. All right, it's not exact, but it's going to be the closest one. That's too low, this is too high, so this is the closest one. So then we would go up then, and our APR is going to be 13%. And that's what the text had, and that's how they came up with it. So the number of payments down the side until you get to the closest thing you had. Okay, so our next one, number 16, then is we had 36 payments, and we had 27.29. So we're going to go down here to 36, which you can't quite see on the book here. So 36, and this isn't anything close on this page. We go up here to 22, so we're going to have to turn the page because the book goes on and on here. So we're still down at 36 for the number of payments. And we're still going across. We're looking for 27. 27.29. Well, we have a toss-up here between 27.01 and 27.46. So it's kind of right in the middle of there. So it's going to be between, as we go up, then between 16.25 and 16.20 is 16.5. So we're probably closer to the 16.5, and so you could even split the difference and call it 16.4 if you want to be more exact in the answer. But that's how to read the table. All right, so you're going to pick the closest one. I'd go 16.5. So the last one that we had was 18 payments, and we need 12.02. So let's look up here. We had 18 payments, and we're looking for 12.02. Well, there's 12.08, so that's pretty dang close. And we'll go up here to read the table, 14.5. And that's what we would fill in for the APR. So that's how to use those. If you're doing those problems, find the finance charge, get the finance charge per 100, and then you get it as close as you can in the table that they provided for. Okay, we're going to do a couple more videos with this section because it's a long section.